Here we are back in the Family Connection Challenge group, and we're bringing you some really great information, as always, from one of our founding ambassadors. This is Dale Troy, and she does some really amazing work around how you can crush college stress, but brings it into our everyday lives. And it's really, yes, it's good for college students, but honestly, she's been sharing in here for a while. A lot of stuff she shares is just good for anybody, and even younger kids. So anyway, pay attention, because today's fun. We're going to talk about the miracle morning, I guess, is what she's going to cover, and I'm excited to hear what she has to share. So anyway, thank you everybody in the Family Connection Challenge. If you're seeing this outside of that, come join us on Facebook at Family Connection Challenge group. So anyway, Dale, go ahead and take it away.
Okay, good morning. Funny, actually, we're going to talk about the miracle morning. You probably have heard of it, but maybe not. It is a book written by Hal Elrod. This is the version that's actually for college students, but he has versions for anyone. It's become so popular. It's been translated into many languages, and he has specific books for different categories of people, but there's also kind of a general theme and concept that applies to every single book. So we're going to talk about the general idea, and maybe I'll talk a little bit specifically about college students, since that's my specialty. But as Cheryl said, this will apply to really anyone, and certainly any student who's at home with you now. What I'm going to share with you is very valuable, and it really can change the way you feel in your entire day. Just think about Miracle Morning. The idea was he tried to figure out, or in fact, he did figure out, what were the habits that successful people had in their morning. Like what did they do in their morning to get going? People like Oprah, people that you would have heard of. He studied a whole range of successful people. I think Bill Gates. I mean, a lot of people who you would know. And he pulled them all together. And, maybe one person thought it was important to do exercise. Another person thought it was important to do journaling, but he pulled them all together and he calls them lifesavers. So there's actually 6 habits. That's why SAVERS, 6 habits. So he calls them the savers, which basically is the lifesavers. He believes, and he has shown in his own life, that if you do these things on a regular basis, it's going to really change how you feel, your whole attitude, how productive you are, how successful you are in every aspect of your life. So I want to share that with you. It's not something that you can necessarily do all at once. I mean, don't think that after I tell you all these things that you're going to immediately be able to do them. But it's something to aspire to, and you can certainly add 1 or 2 or 3 over the next few weeks. And ultimately, if you can get to all 6, that would be fantastic. I also want to tell you that the way he constructed it, he wanted to be able to do all 6 of these things, the savers, in 60 minutes. So he broke it down into 10-minute segments, 6 things for 10, each of them for 10 minutes. However, he also says that if that doesn't work for you, you can reduce it. You could say, I only have half an hour and I'm going to do each of them for 5 minutes, or maybe focus on the things that you think are most important. But in other words, the whole idea is do these things, hopefully all of them, in a given period of time, and do them consistently every single day. That's what's going to make the difference. It's not just doing it once a week. That's not the idea. The idea is to do it every day, so you can have a miracle morning every day, and that will set you up for success in your whole life. So as I said, it's called Miracle Morning, and it's the savers are what we're going to talk about. We'll talk about each one briefly. So the S is for silence. The most obvious way to be silent in my mind is meditation, and that's the one that he talks about the most. But there are other ways to be silent. You could be silent and journaling. You could be silent and just doing some deep breathing, not necessarily meditation. The concept here is really just to let yourself be quiet and be mindful, be in the moment, just be present. You could be even sitting outside, just observing nature for whatever period of time you've decided to do it. So silence is the first one. Okay, the A in Savers is affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that are going to help inspire you, make you feel good, remind you of positive things about yourself, something maybe about your day that you want to encourage yourself to do. For a college student, maybe it might be something like, I'm a good student. I know I just need to study more, and I'm going to spend more time in the library today, and I'm excited to feel good about myself after I finish studying. Something like that. That's a little off, but you get the idea. Something that is going to encourage you, something that relates to your day, and those are called affirmations, something positive. And again, you don't necessarily have to do it for 10 minutes. You could actually, I would recommend creating a bunch of affirmations and then reading them every day, or reading a few of them every day. Again, you could decide, well, I only want to do affirmations for 2 or 3 minutes. That's fine. But the idea is just to be consistent and create those affirmations and say them out loud so you hear them every single day. Okay, next one is visualization. Visualization, that's the V in Savers. Visualization is to imagine something happening and also imagine yourself getting there. So in my college student example, so maybe you have a test coming up. So you can visualize yourself after the test, feeling good about it, that you did a good job. But in addition, you want to visualize yourself in the process of taking the test and feeling confident and feeling calm, not getting nervous, and just knowing that it's going to be okay. That's the idea of visualization. It's not just the end result, but it's also the process of getting there. So again, you could have every day you could have a different one depending on what's going on, but just to get your mind in that attitude of you are going to accomplish something and this is how you're going to do it. Okay, the E in Savers is exercise. Now his version of exercise, actually I thought was kind of interesting. You could go for a 10-minute walk if you're doing everything for 10 minutes, or you could decide exercise is your big thing that you want to do and you want to do it for 15 minutes. Hal I'm talking about, who wrote the book, he had his routine was like a bunch of different things. I think it was like jumping jacks and push-ups and some crunches and like a little dance, what he called a dance party. So it's not intended to be like, this is my big exercise moment. It's more, the concept really is just to get your body moving in the morning, get the blood flowing. It affects your brain. Certainly is important for students to be able to concentrate, to get that blood flowing. So the exercise part is really, in my mind, is kind of more like movement and just getting your body moving after having been sleeping for however many hours. So that's the E in exercise. Okay, the E in Savers, sorry. The R in Savers is reading. Again, we're not expecting you to read like a whole book or in that short period of time. The idea here is to maybe have a book that is inspiring to you, or possibly just a book that you find enjoyable. Is just to get your mind active in the morning. And if you're only doing it for 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 1 minute, it doesn't matter. If you're doing it only for 5 minutes, maybe you're going to just read a few pages. That's fine. And then you'll have that book. You keep reading that same book every day, and ultimately you will finish it. But it's just gives you like a little start to getting your brain going and thinking about something else, just getting more in the moment of the day by reading something. And I think it could be a good idea to find a book that you just find inspiring and that will like help you be in a good mood for the day. Okay, and then finally, the S in Savers is scribing. Scribing was maybe kind of an odd word, but it worked for the acronym Savers. And scribing is essentially writing. And the idea here is to get your thoughts going and to actually write them down. One easy thing, the way I would do it would be probably using a journal and probably writing down some things that I'm grateful for. That would be a simple way to use this in the writing aspect. You could do whatever you want. Maybe you like writing. Maybe you like to write a poem. Maybe you are trying to write a book and you want to spend whatever period of time it is on writing something down. So that's the writing aspect. Again, depending on what you've decided to do, it could be a 10-minute thing. It could be a 5-minute, it could be 2 minutes, it could be 1 minute, whatever it is. You just want to be doing it every day and actually looking forward to it. This is like your time to be, have to yourself. Okay, so that's it for them. Now, I also wanted to mention a couple other things about it. One is that, as I said, there are different books for different categories of people. What I just described could be used for anybody. I just want to show you that he knew that a lot of college students were going to say, oh, forget it. I don't have time. This is just not going to ever work for me. So he actually, in this book, has the 6-minute miracle morning. Now, I can't imagine anybody who doesn't have 6 minutes. If you can just set your alarm for 10 minutes early, you'll have 6 minutes to do this. So what he suggested in a 6-minute version is the first minute, you close your eyes and enjoy a moment of peaceful, purposeful silence to clear your mind and get centered for the day. That sounds super simple. So that would be the first minute. The second minute would be, that's the affirmation. Read your most important affirmation to reinforce what result you want to accomplish, why it's important to you, which specific actions you must take, and when you will commit to taking those actions. So that's the affirmation. The V for visualize, in minute 3, he said, visualize yourself flawlessly executing the single most important action you want to mentally rehearse for the day. Like in my example, it was taking a test. Then the 4th minute, the E, exercise. Stand up and engage in some high energy jumping jacks or drop and do push-ups and crunches to get your heart rate up and engage your body. You could do that in 1 minute. Wow. And then minute 5, which is R for reading, grab the book you're reading and read a page or a paragraph. That's all you need to do. And then the last minute, 6, which is the scribing, it says, grab your journal, jot down one thing you're grateful for and the single most important result for you to generate that day. Wow. That's actually very exciting to me because I can imagine myself doing that in 6 minutes, and I hope that you feel that way too, and that would just be awesome. Imagine if it's not just the one day, it's the idea that you do this consistently, and there've been so many testimonials about how this has changed people's lives. I mean, totally, that they just feel so different. They feel like they get such a great start for the day. They feel inspired to go out and do more things and have a really happy, fulfilling day. So I hope that you will give it a try, even if you can only do it for 6 minutes. It's fantastic. So just remember the acronym SAVERS, and I think hopefully you'll remember what they all are. And I would love to hear if anybody does give it a try, especially for college students. I mean, just imagine if you could just feel really good every single day. It would be so awesome. If you want to get in touch with me, it's Dale Troy at crushcollegestress.com. I love helping students do well in college, and I think after hearing Hal yesterday talk about this, I feel like I need to tell every college student that I'm working with to give this a try. I think it would make a huge difference. So thank you very much.